wrench. I have a Samsung PN43D440 A5D, and I've been told that it just went pop and it went dead. This one's from March 2011. Let's get the back off it and see what's going on. Okay, we have the back off the set. We'll identify the boards here. We've got our Y buffer boards, our Y main or Y sustain board, our power supply, our logic board, our input-output boards, and our X main board. Let's power the set up and observe what it does. So we power the set on, relay clicks, and it shuts down. You notice our status light came on, flashed a few times and went out. We'll do it again. So unplug the power, plug the power back in. So the relay clicked on and off. And then the set powered down. So first way to check these sets for the process of elimination, we need to determine whether our problem is on our X main board or our Y main board. So the first thing we'll unplug the X main board. Our power feeds from our power supply here over to the Y main, and then the Y main feeds to the X main. So by disconnecting the X main board, let's see whether the set will now power up. Okay, the set is on. And we have our tune. But that tells us our problem is on this bad boy here. Our X main board has a problem. So let's pull the X main board and see where the problem is. We know that the problem's on this board because, as you can see, my status light is flashing slow. Normally this status light is flashing at about 1 hertz. It's very slow rate of flash, which is telling us that the board itself is alive, but it's not outputting any signal because there's a problem detected on either the Y main or the X main board. In this case, we know it's the X main board because we've only disconnected the X main board. The Y main board and the Y buffers are all still connected, and the set is not shutting down. So we have a problem on this board. So we'll pull this board and take a look at it. Now once again, just to remove these connectors, just flip the little tab up like that and unseat the ribbon. Same goes for the other connectors. We just pull open the connector like that and slide out the edge connector for the common electrode, which is the X main, as Samsung call it. So we're going to remove this board, and I go up to the screws, and the screws are loose. What do you bet we had loose ground screws that arced and blew out components on this, like happened on that Panasonic? What you bet that the chances are that's what caused this failure? I would say that that's pretty good evidence right here that that ground screw that wasn't tight has arced. You can see right around here evidence of arcing. So I bet you we're going to find we got a bunch of parts that are blown on this board. Let's just start out by measuring some transistors and diodes here. I've just got my meter in diode test mode here. We're just looking for basically opens or shorts. So let's just test some diodes here. Okay, that one's bad. That one's bad. That's a transistor. That's shorted. 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 We got a bunch of parts that are blown on this thing here. That one's okay. You can see a good junction there. And that one's okay. That one's okay. That one's okay. Looks to be okay. Might be shorted through one of the other parts. Got a couple more over here to check. That looks to be okay. So we definitely have this diode and these two IGBTs are shot, as is this one. No, that one was okay. These three. So these 6 parts here, those are shot for sure. I'm going to research what a replacement board is worth as opposed to ordering the individual parts. I might get lucky and be able to get a board really cheap for one of these things and see if we can get this one on its way. This is a gain for a paying customer, but I don't know how much money they want to put into this thing. So if the board is not that expensive, that's the route we'll go. So I've got to get the parts on order for this. There's a parts kit available for it. I'll get you the part number for that. So the part number is, it's a Samsung BN96-16510A, the LJ92-01796A X main repair kit, and it contains the 5 components that have shorted. I'm going to order the parts in for this TV, and we'll make a follow-up video once the parts come in and we repair the board. So for now, I'm just going to close this set back up and set it aside, and we'll make a follow-up once we get the part in. But I just wanted to get the troubleshooting portion of this video, at least we'll get this online, and we'll complete this once the parts come in. Here's a little tip what I do when I'm working on something that I have to order parts. I'll just take, I don't need to put all the screws into the back, just enough to keep the back on so that I can, store it while I'm waiting for parts. So I just take the rest of the screws, I just take one of those old plastic shopping bags, put the remainder of the screws in there, tie a knot in it, and just attach it to the back. That's how I keep my screws intact for when I'm working on a customer's set, because the last thing you want to do is lose a few of the screws, right? So now this TV's back together, I can put it up on a shelf and forget about it until the parts come in, because I'm sure by the time we get the parts in, right now it's just a week before Christmas, we probably won't see the parts until the beginning of the new year at the rate we're going now, just with the holidays and everything. So this thing's going to be sitting here in my garage for a couple of weeks anyway, so I just don't want to lose anything up at the back on it. Again, we'll make part 2 once the part comes in. We'll see the rest of the set fixed. Until then, we'll catch you later.